I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. There is one song that I go back to when it comes to Grand Funk more than any other one. It gives me, and I tell Mark Farner in the interview, it gives me a vibe of the Beatles. I Am Your Captain, Closer to Home, has a certain magic to it. There's something going on. I've got goosebumps even talking about this. But the song still gives me goosebumps even when I'm talking about it, let alone listening to it. I listened to it many times before talking to Mark Farner for a third time. And he tells me something miraculous happened putting that song down. I was listening to Closer to Home, I'm Your Captain again this morning. I listened to it last night, listened to it last week. And I thought to myself, what is it about this song that makes me, that solidifies why I love music so much? And I got a Beatles vibe almost, because it doesn't sound like the Beatles, but it does something that the Beatles did. And it took me, I mean, short of the name, it took me for a journey. I remember going, I'm at this, it's almost like in my brain, I was saying, I'm over here. A lot of music doesn't bring me over here in my mind's eye, in my mind. There was something, and I went, this is the way I feel when I listen to Beatles music.
I hear you. That's and I equate it to a special anointing that is on that kind of music, that because that song in particular, I prayed for. After I said now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul. You know, that the prayer our mothers taught us, and blessed everybody in the family. You know, you go down the list, and then I put a PS on the end of my prayer, and I said, would you give me a song that would reach and touch the hearts of those you want to get to? I got up in the middle of the night. I was not in a conscious state of mind. I was halfway between heaven and earth someplace. And I have a steno pad next to my bed, just like right now. I could go up there and grab a pen and paper and write down what's on my mind, because so many times I've lost the best songs I could have written. I lost them thinking, oh, I'll remember that in the morning. No way, it's gone. So I roll up and I just start writing words. I don't know. I didn't even think at the time that, here's the answer to your prayer. No, I was not even there. I didn't consider that. All I considered was, wow, this feels great. This where I'm at in my head. It's in that spot, Brother John, where the music takes you. There I was. And I knew better than to go back to the top of the page. Once I started writing, I had to continue with that train of thought and not rehash what I had just written to take me to the next verse. Like you might, if you were just trying to write a song, you got a jam. I would go over, any other song, I would read this first verse. It might lead me to something special to add to the second verse or whatever. But at this point in time, I knew not to. I just knew that would stop the flow if I took my eyes back to the top of the page. So I keep my eyes down here. I keep writing, and I would just kind of close my eyes, and the next line would come, and I'm there, getting this, receiving this. And in the morning when I got up, I just went about my daily thing. I went out, made a coffee. I got a George Washburn acoustic guitar sitting there in the kitchen on a stand. I picked that George Washburn up, and I went, what the heck is that? Where did that come from? It was kind of inspirational to me. I'm looking at the horses out in the pasture. I'm out in the country. The wind is blowing a little bit, and I'm seeing the fields. And it was just a beautiful, the sun coming up. It was a beautiful picture. And I thought, as I grabbed this C chord, and it was an inversion of a C I had never made prior. I reached across, but I left my finger, my pinky and my ring finger down, and I hit the two, the C that makes the C, the two strings that make that C chord, but it chimed with a special harmonic that just at that moment in my kitchen, I was like, wow, that is magic. I'm looking at that chord, dude, and I'm thinking, oh, I got to memorize this. Where are my fingers as I'm writing it down? And I got my cassette recorder there. I think of, oh, those words in the other room. So I go and grab the words, bring them back in. I laid them on the table, and dude, I started playing, grabbing that C chord. Everybody listen to me. You know, it just started coming, man. It started, and I got the red button on that little cassette recorder pushed. So I'm getting this as it's coming. And it even got, you know, to the break. Am I in my cabin dreaming? You know, it's where it slows down. I knew, and as I'm playing this, I'm thinking, what is that? What am I feeling? But man, as soon as I hit that D minor, it was like, oh yeah, that's where it's going. It's slowing down. Oh yeah, here we go. And I am just loving, you know, and then I think, because a lot of times when you think that you're onto a song, and then you take it to the guys, and it's like, yeah, it's mediocre, you know. But man, I said, this song, oh my God, it's really touching my heart, and I didn't even think until I got to rehearsal, and played the song for Don and Mel, and they said, Farner, man, that song's a hit. And as Brewer said that to me, I thought, dude, I prayed for that song. Yeah. It ought to be a hit. I prayed for that song. They going, what? And then I told them, you know, the story. And at the time, because that was during the Vietnam War, there was a lot of love and emotion tied to that song, because our vets, our Vietnam veterans, God bless their hearts, they were hanging on to any word that would remind them of home and give them hope of returning home. And being that my dad was a tank driver in the 7th Armored Division, World War II, and my mother was the first woman in the United States to weld on Sherman tanks at Fisher Body in Flint, Michigan, I had a little of that in my genes, you know, and many of my friends that went to the Vietnam War came back different people, and because, and I think the biggest thing, Brother John, is there was no video to that song. This was before MTV and before all the videos ruined all the music. And I liken it to, as I was doing an interview with a DJ at WNEW New York City, he was telling me that they asked 100 people to write the definition of the song Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. And he says, Farner, man, we got 100 diversely different definitions. Not any two were even close. And I went, bingo. And that's when, you know, there's a metaphor to that. And it's like when people read a book and then they go to see the movie, they always say that movie sucked compared to the book, because it was their imagination that was running the film as they were reading through the pages. That's missing in our society. That's missing in our world today, our imagination and our, you know, we've been stifled by videos. It's just one thing. You watch it and that's what it is, by God. No, that ain't what it is, man. I say, turn the video off, listen to the lyrics, and let's see what's real music and what isn't.
Remember when we were young, we all went through periods of, you go to a party and sometimes you go downstairs in the basement and there's like 15 people just all sitting around. They're talking if they can between the songs, but we're listening all together, listening to music.
That's it, buddy. Yes, I miss that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Remember, if you want to support the channel, there are links in the description at the very top where you can help us out with either through PayPal or Patreon. You'll get early releases, and you'll get to see everything before everybody else. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. Share them on the appropriate groups that you may be part of on Facebook, or share them on Twitter. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. More from Mark Farner in the next few days.